Hey, babe, you. He's
Are we
fired.
recorded?
Yeah.
Okay. Chin chin. I'm not allowed to look at the screen, and it's so hard because I can just see it at the bottom of my eye.
Yeah, I wanted it to be that way,
But I'm not saying it.
you know,
So I'm just gonna face this way.
I'm gonna hide
I
my
look
screen.
this way.
Just like we were writing an exam.
I bet you used to be that person when you were at school that didn't like.
I'm not
any
gonna
long
answer that
topic.
question. I'm not gonna answer that question.
That means yes.
Hello guys, welcome to this episode with the meettheulehs. I've got my gorgeous wife here. Today we're going to be starting a new series called The Truth Never Told.
Do you know what though? Nonso, you needed to also mention the fact that you've not told me anything about what's going on today.
I haven't told you.
So, just as you're finding out, I'm finding out on the spot.
Exactly.
Nonso likes to keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get my natural, hopefully, reaction.
I want it to be as fresh as possible. I don't want it to be like planned. You know, I want your ideas to come like
in real time.
In real time. Before we start, I just want to like mention something. I want us to be honest about things.
Oh goodness.
In this series, we want to be
You're
honest.
making me nervous. I'm like, okay. How honestly, what
you
are
know,
we going to be talking about?
I want you to say it how it is, how you think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no holding back. Exactly.
Okay.
So today we'll be talking. I do have a couple of questions, but we will be going through just 2 questions today.
Only 2.
Only 2, because I want to keep it, sweet and short.
Yeah.
And nice as well. Yeah. And let's get into it. So the first question is, in your opinion,
In my opinion.
can a man and woman be just friends?
Can a man and a woman be just friends? Can they be
You're
just
taking
friends?
so much time to
No, the
answer this
thing is
question.
though, I'm thinking. You told me that you want me to be 100%.
Yeah, I want
but
you.
you want me to think
but
out loud.
I feel like you should have a question. You should have an answer to this question like, immediately.
I do think so. Yeah, I
You
think
think
they
so?
can. I think they can. I think it has to be. There has to be some very clear boundaries.
Clear boundaries.
Yeah, if
Really?
a man and a woman has to be friends.
What clear boundaries?
Like, because there's a big boundary between friendship and like a more romantic relationship.
So are you saying that I tell you I'm going to a girl's house? How do you feel about it?
No, because that's what I'm saying. I think there has to be clear demarcations about what the friendship is. But wait.
Okay.
I think at this stage in your life, if I don't know about the girl before, then there's no way that they're your friend.
No, don't bring us into this.
No, because you brought it in.
It's not about the both of us.
Yeah, but you said
it's like in
I
general.
go to
Okay, let me
because-
rephrase. Right? Mm-hmm. In the world that we live in today, do you think a guy and a girl or a man and a woman can be just friends?
I think they can. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I think a man and a woman can be just friends. I think friendship also depends on which stage of your life that you're in. When I was in high school, for example, you would always be friends with lots of different guys.
No, not high school. We're not talking about high school.
You said in this, you're not
No,
giving.
we're not talking about high school. As an adult, right? As adults,
Mm-hmm.
even high school, I feel like it's even worse than what it used to be.
You sound like an old man. You're like, oh, in the olden days.
But it's true though.
Uh-huh.
Like high school is more difficult to be in high school now than it was back in the day. But
Okay,
we're talking
my
about as
final
adults,
answer.
yeah?
My final answer is I believe that a man and a woman can be just friends. I think it's rare that it happens, but I think there are instances in which it works. I don't see it working in many instances, but I do believe that it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
So we're basically on the same page then, because for me, I don't think it's
Common.
I don't think it's possible.
It depends. Like, see, this is the thing.
I don't
It
think it's
depends on
possible in
a
this
lot
day
of
and
things.
age.
So, say for example, I'm a married woman, you're a married man, and we have a friend who's married who has a husband. I have a friend who has a husband. I would consider myself to be friends with the husband,
Yeah.
and so that means that a man and a woman can be
No,
friends.
not that kind of relationship. I mean like a friend that I don't really have that much to do with. Do you understand? A guy friend that I don't have
Yeah,
that
but
much
you
to do
didn't
with.
ask that question.
Okay, should I
You need
rephrase
to
the question
start
again?
Yeah, you need to start again because this isn't clear. The premise of this isn't clear.
Okay. Let's ask this question now.
Mm-hmm.
Babe,
Yes.
is it possible for a man and a woman to be just friends? And when I say a man and a woman, I mean, let's say for example you and I, right?
Yes.
This guy, I do not necessarily know him that well. Do you understand? But I've heard of him, of course. You've told me about him. But you guys are just friends.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, is it possible to have that kind of friend in this day and age?
Okay, I have some follow-up questions.
Yeah.
My follow-up question would be, this friend that I have, do I see them on a regular basis, as in like face to face? Do we talk and chat, or are we like friends from afar?
You see, doesn't matter. Like, okay, the kind of friend I'm talking about is the one that you can go to his house. It's not necessarily you have to. You're always going to his house, but you can go to his house. You can chat with him. You can, basically.
They're like my best friend, but a boy.
Okay, let's put it that way.
Yeah, like to have my best friend, but a boy. Okay. Do I think it's possible? I think it's possible because I've seen it happen. I think it's possible because I've seen it happen, but I think it's rare. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think it's very rare in this day and age.
Yeah.
For the opposite sex to have a friendship that is completely platonic.
Exactly. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear, because for me, I don't think it's necessarily possible without there being like something going on underneath.
But that's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot of questions that go ahead of that. So say for example, I have a childhood friend who is a boy, and we've been friends since we were children, and we've grown up together, and they're like your best friend, but like nothing romantic has ever happened, and it's always been a platonic friendship. I think it's possible, but I cannot really fully talk about the possibility because it's never happened to me. There's no one that I'm like, oh my goodness, or ever was like, oh my goodness, they're my best friend and they're a guy. No.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, even when you say you've known this person since childhood, for example, I feel like that's even more reason why something can happen. I mean, something can always on the ground.
But what if? Here's another question. What if? And I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works, guys.
Yeah.
But you just said a man and a woman. But what if the woman does not like men romantically, or what if the man doesn't like women romantically? Then can they be friends?
It's possible when the other person doesn't like the opposite sex, right?
Right.
Yeah. If you don't like the opposite sex, then I think it's possible.
Is your thing that you're thinking that it's not really possible for there to be a non-romantic relationship between opposite sex if they're attracted to the opposite sex?
It's hard. That's what I'm saying.
I think, to be fair, I agree.
It is difficult.
I think it's hard because like if you're like best friends with someone, your mind at some point will go to that level to be like, oh well, they're my best friends. So like, what would it be like if we were in a romantic relationship?
And I feel like when someone is like you call them your best friend, it means you find that person attractive in some sort of way anyway.
As in,
you get
like,
what I mean?
Their
person as a person. For them to be your best friend, it means you find them, attractive. You're able to keep a communicate like a conversation going with that person.
And if I place myself in the shoes of like a woman, and she's met, this guy, or she's friends with this guy who's super attractive, and they're best friends, like why wouldn't you want to be in a romantic relationship with them? Unless you just don't find that person attractive.
Exactly.
Which can happen in that you are best friends with someone, but you don't find them attractive. Like, yuck.
No.
It's possible.
I mean, it's possible, but it's rare. It's very rare. Because if you don't find someone, I feel like now people call someone their best friend because they find them in some sort of way attractive. It's true. It's true.
I mean, like,
tell me someone, tell me someone that's been your best friend before and you didn't find them like attractive, whether that is a girl or that is a guy.
Yeah, but I don't
find them attractive doesn't mean physically or romantically, right?
Or you mean like you're attracted
their
to
person,
them.
You're attracted to them. That's why you are a best friend to them in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but the thing about romantic relationships is the very important element that most people will also look for a physical attraction, and so sometimes you can be attracted to a person and their traits and their humor and their values and how they carry themselves, but then to kind of cross over from like platonic friendship to a romantic relationship, there's a very important step in finding that person physically attractive in some shape or form. Yeah. But the thing that I would probably want to highlight is that in many cases where there have been those platonic friendships and there's a discussion about should we go further, should we not go further, should we become boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, whatever. Most of the time, there's still that conversation about whether or not the line should be crossed at some point. And sometimes when I speak to people who have got best friends that are of the opposite sex, they're like, well, I thought about it, but I decided not to because I didn't want to ruin the friendship. So can they just be friends? Probably not. The consideration will probably come up at some point.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But in the long run, can they just be friends? after they've kind of gone over that hurdle of deciding that they don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But the bottom line is, right?
It's hard.
It's hard. It's really,
that's the bottom line.
It's really difficult because a guy and a girl that are best friends, you know, there's going to be like a physical attraction some time along the way. There'll be like a physical attraction. You can't tell me anything else about that because that's the fact. That's the fact.
I think the bottom line is there will be a discussion or a thought.
There'll be a thought, and most people, when they think about something, they do it.
But no, but that's not necessarily the case because they might have thought about it and then decided not to pursue it. So then, yes, they can just be friends.
No, I disagree.
Okay, so our agreement is the fact that it's possible. Yeah. It is definitely possible to be just friends with the opposite sex. However, it's very, very difficult, and there probably will be at some point some consideration about taking it to the next level.
For me, I don't think it's possible. Yeah, this is my conclusion. I don't think it's possible.
In conclusion,
I don't think it's possible at all. I mean, maybe like a 10% chance of it being possible, but the 90, I feel like it's not possible at all because there's definitely going to be a discussion, just like you said, and most people when they think about it or discuss about it, they go ahead and do it without the other half knowing.
Do you know what, actually, one thing I will say is that usually it'll be like one person likes the other person and the other person is not interested. Do you understand? So like, say for example, maybe not usually, but I've heard a lot of instances.
If they are best friends or, you know, the girl sees this guy like all the time, yeah, there's definitely something that is actually drawing her close to this guy,
or she just likes him as a person and she does not want to go further with him. But that's not to say that.
Come on, babe. How can you say she just likes the guy as a person?
No, genuinely,
really.
The point that I'm trying to make is that I think it's different for women.
It's impossible.
No, it's not impossible. I think it's okay. Well, we can agree to disagree, but I believe that it's possible. Yeah. But there will have been a discussion or a consideration at some point. And it's likely to be the case that at some point in time, whether it was before, now, or in the future, one person will have thought about it for the other person, and either the other person didn't agree, or it just never happened. But it's still in the back of their head. And for some friendships, if one person said let's go, the other person would say let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I still think it's possible.
Because you call yourself best friends anyway. So if one person has said, oh, let's do this, the other person would 90% of the time agree with that decision.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I think it's probably on an ad hoc basis. I can't say
I do not know anyone that has an opposite sex best friend. I don't know anyone.
I know of some people who
who's that? Who's that? Tell me.
No, I know some people who claim to have opposite sex best friends, but it always ends badly.
Exactly. There's no two ways about it.
Or let me think. Hang on.
It's a risk. It's a risk for any relationship.
Whose relationship?
Any relationship. If I have a girl that I call my best friend, it's a risk to our relationship. Do you understand? Not because I feel like something is gonna happen, but it's still a risk
that you need to mitigate.
Yes,
flag.
You need to flag
on the red log.
So it's for a guy. I'm speaking for all of the guys out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Put your comments in the comment section. Put your comments there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. For any guy, I don't think it's a possibility, and I don't think any guy out there would actually allow it.
Well, some guys would.
No way.
Some guys
Impossible.
just because you didn't.
No way.
Some would.
There's no way I'll do that.
Let me say something. No. If you come to me and you're like, I met this girl at work, Moira, we've become such good friends, I'd be like, mate.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I wouldn't allow it.
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't allow it, but that's not to say that you can't just be friends. It's just a personal preference. I don't feel comfortable with it.
You can be friends, but not to the extent where you
like
you can go to a house, you can you keep texting her all the time and stuff like that, and maybe we're watching TV and you're like Imagine that.
I think I would go to Moira's house and have a few words.
Come on.
No, I don't think. I think that's what I'm saying. It depends on the boundaries also, because you can be friends with someone, but not, in my opinion, best friends. Friends would be, when it's their birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah, of course.
Or you had a baby, congratulations.
Absolutely, that's
but
absolutely fine.
Oh, do you want to go out for dinner tonight?
Exactly. or go to the house.
When the other half isn't there.
Even when the other half is there. I'm not allowing you to go to another guy's house
Yeah, fair.
to visit them. Why?
No.
For what reason? Now?
I don't know. But the thing is, though, that it's hard for me to like place myself in that position because I'm not in that position.
Yeah.
Whereas I can imagine if I know a lot of people who are friends with guys, and if like, for example,
No. Whoever that guy is, man,
Stop it.
say no to that. Say no to that. Protest. Say no. Let's protest, guys.
Oh
Let's
God!
say no to that.
Are you
because
kidding?
that
A
is
union?
not.
Boys union or something?
That is not right. It's not right for any girl to have, someone, a guy that they go to their house, they visit them, they text them all the time. Like he texts you more than your boyfriend texts you, and it's like you're always receiving the message all the time and laughing, kiki. No way.
That's your personal.
Let's
preference.
end that, please.
No,
Let's end that.
man. No, to give them with your placards. I
Let's
think it's
end that.
personal preference. It's
Yeah.
okay. What I'll say is, you won't allow it.
Mm-hmm.
However, other people might be comfortable with it.
Okay. So would you?
Never.
So would you? I'll ask you this question regardless. Yeah. Would you allow me to go to a girl's house to visit them without you being there?
If it's your mom, yes.
So basically,
Or your sister.
we're on the same page then.
Or your
We're on the
sister.
same page then, but you're not
Or
just
your
wanting
auntie,
to.
but I still need to know the auntie.
Exactly. So it's like it's a close case.
Close
I don't
case.
think that
Okay.
is possible. We're in agreement.
Yeah.
Please click the like button, comment, and also subscribe to the channel because we want to know that you're actually enjoying what we're doing. And if you have any ideas, you think we should be talking about, please feel free to put that in the comment section below. Peace out.
Chin chin.
Chin chin.